Have you ever wondered why so many men over 50 or 60 struggle in relationships? Why, despite having wisdom, money, and decades of life experience, they often find themselves stuck in the same emotional traps they fought their entire lives to avoid? It seems paradoxical, doesn't it? After all, by this age, most men have mastered careers, achieved financial stability, and learned countless lessons about life. But when it comes to romance, many repeat mistakes they thought they'd left behind in their youth. Today, I'm going to reveal something most people won't tell you. Having a girlfriend after 50 or 60 can actually be more harmful than you think. And this isn't just my opinion. This comes from years of observing human behavior, the subtle but powerful dynamics of female psychology, and timeless stoic wisdom that has guided men for centuries. You see, life after 50 is supposed to be a time of freedom, reflection, and self-mastery. It's the stage where you can finally enjoy the fruits of decades of work, focus on your health, and pursue purpose on your own terms. It's a time to reclaim your peace of mind, to savor the small joys, and to live life on your own schedule. But the wrong relationship has a way of quietly eroding all of this, slowly, subtly, and often without you even realizing it. Have you ever noticed how a relationship can start so smoothly, only to gradually shift your priorities, your routines, or even your sense of self? That's exactly what I'm talking about. A companion who seems ideal on the surface can unintentionally draw you into emotional turbulence, lifestyle compromises, and a loss of autonomy. The very things you've spent a lifetime cultivating and protecting. By the end of this video, you'll understand 5 critical reasons why a girlfriend after 50 or 60 could be more trouble than it's worth. You'll also discover how Stoicism can guide you to live a life of calm, control, and true happiness without unnecessary emotional entanglement. So, if you're ready to protect your freedom, preserve your peace of mind, and make choices that actually serve your happiness, then stay with me. And before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video, because this knowledge could save you from years of regret and heartache, and help you live your best years on your own terms. Reason 1. Emotional turmoil can destroy your hard-earned peace. One of the biggest reasons to reconsider dating at this stage in life is emotional turbulence. When you are in your 50s or 60s, you've likely experienced loss, career setbacks, maybe even health scares. You've fought battles in life that younger men can't even imagine. And one thing you've probably learned by now is the value of peace of mind. A romantic relationship, even a seemingly calm one, introduces unpredictability. Women, even well-meaning ones, bring expectations, emotional needs, and insecurities. And at 50 or 60, your capacity to endure drama or emotional instability is far less than it was in your 20s or 30s. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine you meet a woman who seems perfect. She's charming, attentive, and fun. But over time, small disagreements begin to appear. Maybe she criticizes your habits. Maybe she wants to control your time. Maybe she pressures you for more attention. These small cracks grow, and suddenly, you're reliving emotional patterns from your past, patterns you had worked decades to master. A Stoic perspective teaches us that your mind is your most valuable possession. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By entering a romantic entanglement at this stage, you are giving external events, someone else's moods, desires, and expectations power over your internal world. And here's the harsh truth. Most men at this age don't have time to waste on emotional turmoil. Years of life are limited, health can decline faster than you think, and stress directly impacts longevity. A woman, no matter how kind, can unintentionally erode the calm you've fought so hard to maintain. Many men fall into the trap of thinking, "I need companionship. I can handle it now." But Stoicism warns us that emotional independence is the highest form of freedom. At 50 or 60, you should ask yourself, do I want companionship that enriches my life, or emotional dependence that drains it? The answer is clear. Avoid emotional turmoil. Protect your inner peace. Reason 2. Financial and lifestyle pressures multiply. The second reason is financial and lifestyle stress. By the time a man reaches his 50s or 60s, he has built a life, a home, a career, investments, routines, hobbies, maybe even grandchildren. Entering a relationship at this point can drastically shift your financial landscape. Women in this age bracket often come with their own expectations. They may want travel, gifts, joint investments, or shared retirement plans. And while that may seem harmless, it introduces new stress. Suddenly, your carefully balanced life is now negotiating two sets of financial priorities and lifestyle habits. Even Stoic philosophy addresses this. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." In modern terms, this means that bringing another person's desires into your life can make you crave balance, control, or perfection, things that don't always align with reality. I've seen men in their 50s sell investments, buy gifts, or adjust retirement plans just to meet a partner's expectations. And for what? Emotional satisfaction that is fleeting. Relationships, especially later in life, are often transactional in ways most men don't anticipate. The key is freedom in lifestyle choices. At this stage, you should focus on experiences that bring you joy without having to compromise or negotiate constantly. A girlfriend may unintentionally limit that freedom, whether through social obligations, financial pressure, or emotional demands. So Stoicism teaches us to embrace simplicity, reduce desires, and protect what we've built. After 50 or 60, financial stress and lifestyle conflicts aren't worth a relationship that can be unstable, demanding, or draining. Reason 3, health and energy are limited resources. The third reason to avoid a girlfriend after 50 or 60 is health and energy limitations. When you're young, energy is abundant. Your body recovers quickly from late nights, stress, or emotional exhaustion. After 50 or 60, energy becomes a finite resource. Your immune system weakens, recovery is slower, and stress takes a toll faster than ever. A romantic relationship introduces additional demands on this limited energy. Even subtle emotional friction can lead to sleepless nights and stress and anxiety. Planning dates, managing disagreements, and accommodating another person's schedule all consume mental and physical energy. Energy you could be investing in exercise, travel, hobbies, or personal projects. Stoicism emphasizes moderation and self-care. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you allow someone else to constantly influence your emotions or your energy, you are surrendering control over your most important asset, your vitality. Consider this. Men in their 50s and 60s often have health concerns already: blood pressure, heart health, mobility. Stressful relationships exacerbate these issues. Studies show that chronic emotional stress can reduce life expectancy and increase risk of illness. In essence, dating later in life isn't just a matter of emotional risk, it's a health risk. Protecting your body, your mind, and your energy should be a top priority. And if a relationship threatens that, no matter how appealing it seems, it may not be worth it. Reason 4, freedom and autonomy are hard to maintain. The fourth reason to avoid a girlfriend after 50 or 60 is the loss of freedom and autonomy. By this stage in life, most men have spent decades building routines, hobbies, and a sense of independence. You've likely developed daily rituals, morning walks, meditation, reading, or working on personal projects that give structure and meaning to your days. You've learned to enjoy your own company and take pride in the choices you make for yourself. But entering a romantic relationship at this age can subtly erode these hard-earned freedoms. Stoicism teaches that self-governance is the cornerstone of happiness. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Obstacles can be opportunities for growth, but a relationship introduces impediments that are rarely growth-inducing. They are often distractions, obligations, or compromises that chip away at your autonomy. Think about your typical day. Perhaps you wake early, enjoy quiet time with a cup of coffee, go for a walk, or work on personal hobbies. You may have plans to travel, explore new interests, or spend time with friends. A girlfriend, even a considerate one, inevitably requires adjustments. You may need to check in, respond to her emotional needs, or change plans to accommodate hers. Suddenly, your decisions are no longer entirely your own. Your freedom becomes conditional on someone else's expectations. Even well-intentioned companionship comes with subtle constraints. You might find yourself saying yes to social events you don't enjoy, compromising on routines that bring you calm, or sacrificing hobbies you once loved. These small compromises accumulate over time, and before you know it, the life you carefully crafted is being slowly reshaped to fit someone else's desires. Consider this real-life scenario. A man in his late 50s enjoys weekend hiking trips with friends, reading in solitude and maintaining a strict exercise routine. He meets a woman who enjoys more social weekends and prefers staying home. At first, he compromises to make her happy, canceling hikes or rearranging plans. Over months, the compromises stack up, and his personal passions, the things that define him, begin to fade. What seemed like a small adjustment at first now feels like a loss of self. Stoicism reminds us that inner freedom is far more valuable than external attachment. True happiness comes not from pleasing others, but from living in accordance with your own nature and values. When a relationship limits your autonomy, it hinders personal growth, reflection, and joy, the very elements of life that men over 50 or 60 have fought decades to protect. Ask yourself, am I entering this relationship to enhance my life, or am I risking the independence I've worked so hard to build? If the answer is unclear, that is a red flag. Autonomy once lost is difficult to reclaim, and the cost is often higher than anticipated. Ultimately, after 50 or 60, freedom and self-determination are rare and precious. Every choice you make should reinforce your autonomy, not dilute it. A romantic relationship should complement your life, not dictate it. When you prioritize independence, you maintain the clarity, strength, and peace of mind that Stoicism teaches and that the world often overlooks. Reason 5. Emotional attachment can mask loneliness. The fifth reason to avoid having a girlfriend after 50 or 60 is emotional attachment masking loneliness. At this stage in life, loneliness can feel heavier than it did when you were younger. Many men fear the idea of aging alone. They think that having a companion automatically shields them from isolation. And while companionship can be comforting, it often becomes a crutch rather than a true source of fulfillment. Here's the problem. Attachment born from fear is not love. It's desperation. It's the urge to fill an emotional void with another person, rather than cultivating completeness within yourself. You may find yourself thinking, I just need someone to share my days with. That will make life meaningful. But this mindset is risky because it transfers responsibility for your happiness onto someone else, someone who, no matter how wonderful, is human and imperfect. Imagine this scenario. A man in his late 50s begins dating a woman because he feels lonely after divorce or the loss of a long-term partner. At first, the relationship feels invigorating. He feels seen, appreciated, and wanted. But slowly, reality sets in. Her moods change. Her interests differ. Small disagreements arise. Suddenly, the peace he was seeking is replaced by anxiety, worry, and emotional dependency. The very person he hoped would alleviate loneliness becomes the source of tension. Stoicism teaches us that true contentment comes from within. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. If your emotional well-being depends on another person, you surrender your power and give away your inner peace. Attachment based on fear magnifies suffering when challenges inevitably appear. Relying on someone else for emotional fulfillment can also cloud judgment. You may mistake attachment for love, believing that your connection is deeper or more meaningful than it really is. Dependency can masquerade as intimacy, leading to compromises, resentment, and even manipulation. And in the worst-case scenario, when the relationship ends, the emotional fallout can be devastating, especially if your sense of purpose has been entangled with that person. The healthier approach is to focus on internal fulfillment, cultivate meaningful friendships, engage in hobbies that challenge and excite you, and dedicate time to pursuits that give your life purpose. Travel, learn, volunteer, or mentor younger generations. These activities provide emotional richness without dependence. They remind you that connection and joy are not limited to romantic love. Ask yourself, am I seeking a girlfriend because I genuinely want a partnership, or because I fear being alone? This reflection is crucial. Loneliness is a natural feeling, especially later in life, but it should not dictate your choices. Learning to sit with your own company, to enjoy your own thoughts, and to find satisfaction in self-reliance is one of the most liberating experiences a man can have after 50 or 60. In short, emotional attachment can mask loneliness, but relying on it for happiness is a trap. True fulfillment comes from self-mastery, purpose, and meaningful connections outside romantic dependency. When you learn to enjoy life fully on your own terms, relationships, if they happen, become a complement to your life, not the foundation of it. Conclusion. So there you have it. 5 hard truths most men are never told. Especially after 50 or 60, at this stage of life, peace is not negotiable. Emotional chaos, unresolved expectations, and constant compromise don't just disrupt your days. They drain the very calm you spent decades earning. What once felt exciting now feels exhausting. What once felt meaningful now feels heavy. Financial and lifestyle pressures don't disappear with age. They intensify. Every decision carries more weight. Every obligation costs more energy. And when resources, time, money, health become limited, wisdom demands that you protect them fiercely. Your body is no longer a limitless machine. Your energy is valuable. Your health is fragile. Late life stress doesn't just affect your mood, it accelerates decline. Stoicism teaches us to live in alignment with reality, not nostalgia. And the reality is this: peace preserves life, stress shortens it. Freedom, too, becomes rarer with age. The ability to wake up without explanation, to live by your own rhythm, to answer only to your conscience, this autonomy is priceless. Once surrendered, it is rarely returned without cost. And perhaps most importantly, emotional attachment can quietly disguise loneliness. Many men don't seek connection, they seek distraction from emptiness. Stoicism exposes this illusion. It reminds us that companionship cannot replace purpose, and affection cannot substitute inner wholeness. This is not bitterness. This is not fear. This is wisdom earned through experience. Stoicism doesn't reject love, it rejects dependence. It teaches that happiness is not found in another person, but forged through self-mastery, clarity, and inner discipline. At 50 or 60, life is no longer about chasing intensity. It's about preserving depth. So choose independence without apology. Cultivate purpose instead of validation. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Invest in your body, your mind, your solitude, and your legacy. Because the ultimate truth is this: a life lived with clarity, freedom, and stoic composure is infinitely richer than one spent negotiating comfort for temporary emotional satisfaction. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.